hey, this is Roxanne Shante, and listen, if it's only going to be a little bit, nah, it's got to be all hip hop. Please believe it, baby.
What's going on, world? It's your man Chuck Creekmer, aka Jigsaw, and I'm here with my man
DJ Thorough, a.k.a. Thoroughzano, Bridge to the Streets, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, we here with a special guest, special guest, the Queen Roxanne Shante, Grammy Award winning.
Grammy Award winning.
Queen.
Congratulations.
Lifetime
you.
achiever.
Lifetime.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yes, let's just go right into it. Like, we missed you on the carpet. I was telling my writer, like, yo, get her. And she's a little younger. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure what happened, but
Right.
we missed you. So I'm glad to have you here.
I think this year's Grammy red carpet was the red carpet for the lessons to be learned. And you know, I'm hoping that not only did those who were on the red carpet, who were conducting the interviews, did they learn, but also the companies that send them out to represent them. I'm hoping that they also too learn.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so yeah, but it was a great thing. It was a great experience. You know, it was my first time going to the Grammys, and most people were like,
Really?
Yeah, that's
First
the
time
thing.
for
That's the
Sean.
first. That's the
Hey.
first.
Because
thing.
I've seen you
Listen,
out
that's
there.
the first thing everybody says.
Since
to
you've
me.
been in the music business?
Since I've been in music, first time going.
How
to
is
the
that
Grammys.
possible?
You know what? I don't know how everybody else felt, but it's an honor to go to something as prestigious as the Grammys and to go as a winner.
Right.
And to go as a lifetime.
Well, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Anytime
To go
you
as
win.
to go as a lifetime. So it's like, you know, it was the right time for me. You know, any
Right.
other time would not have been my time. I went when it was my time.
Right.
You know, so I went to the Grammys and left with a Grammy. You know, that's a good thing.
Right. You know, hip hop has a new outlook on the Grammys because if you will, back in the days,
Yes.
they didn't care like who gives a about a goddamn Grammy.
Absolutely,
you know?
I
Like,
remember
it
the
was all,
lyrics.
everything was anti-Grammy. Now, how did that culture shift?
I think what it is that the music shifted and,
Okay.
and the respect for hip hop has shifted. And people now understand that there's no genre of music that does not have hip hop included in it.
Facts.
So if you're going to talk about any genre of music and you're going to say hip hop, you automatically know there's hip hop and gospel, hip hop and rock, hip hop and country, hip hop and heavy metal, hip hop and everything. So therefore now they understood, you know, the strength of hip hop, and now hip hop understands its strength. Because sometimes, you know, we shun on things that we feel that either one we're never going to get, or we're never going to be deserving of, or they're never going to include us.
Right.
To now having a better understanding that, you know, I mean, if you literally want to take it, that it's all hip hop. You know, so now that's what
Right.
it has became.
Let me ask you kind of something that you just stated. Like, we saw notably that Babyface had an interview, and
Yes.
and they, you know, really didn't show him any respect. It was,
Right.
It was
I
ridiculous.
think they looked behind him and spotted somebody else. It was
Right.
like, hey, such and such. And he was
Yeah.
like, hey, well, if you want them, you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
And I think that was very gracious of him
Right.
Very.
to do that.
That
you
goes
know
about
I'm saying?
what she was saying. You got to have people on these panels that's interviewing people that are knowledgeable about who's there and
Yeah.
are knowledgeable about the history of music.
But also etiquette. You
And-
know,
yeah, and etiquette,
there's
right.
a certain etiquette that has to be present in anything that you're going to present, whether it's hip hop, R&B, country, rock. It's a certain etiquette.
Right.
And I think because this generation, or not this total generation, but a majority of the generation is missing that etiquette. They didn't have anyone to teach them that.
Right.
Because at that time we're going through a process of getting money. So when you're getting money, you don't really stop and teach the lessons. You kind of like you into the money.
Right.
So therefore there was a whole generation that just was missing etiquette, because proper etiquette is I don't care who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
I'm not going to interrupt and stop talking to you. What I might do is signal somebody next to me and say, listen, see if you could catch them.
Right.
And then let me finish conducting this interview, because that's just the way we're raised. You know, but you got a whole generation out here that just wasn't raised right. And so those are
great
going to
point.
be, those are going to be like, that's in the industry and out of the industry. That's why we have some of the issues we have now.
Yeah, and I know how that is because I've worked the carpet, and sometimes you'll be like, oh my God, there's, you know, Beyonce. You know, you ain't gonna never get Beyonce, but I'm just saying.
And don't say
but you
never. Don't
well,
never say never.
Not
you know?
saying never, but
Right.
yeah. Just you have to eat. You got to let it be.
You
You
because
can't
that's
be
just
rude
not
like
the,
that.
It's just not the moment.
Yeah, it's not
Right.
the moment. Yeah,
It's
that's
not.
true.
It's not the moment.
But I ain't gonna lie to y'all. We interviewed. So this is how we did it at the MTV Awards one
Okay.
time. I was on my boss tip,
Right.
and I was just roaming the carpet, wrangling talent. Right. So I'm not gonna say her name. It was this was so disrespectful.
Oh,
But
damn,
we were trying to get a drop from DJ Khaled,
Okay.
and it took all this energy, and he was ready right then.
Right.
So it's a colonizer, and
Okay.
we was just like, you got to go right now. It's time for DJ Khaled. It was so disrespectful.
Well, if it was a colonizer,
Yeah.
then it's all
Yeah,
fair.
but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It was wrong. It was
Thanks to
wrong.
both of you.
It was wrong. It was wrong.
And
It
let me
was
tell you,
wrong.
but here's the thing. You realized it.
Oh yeah.
See,
I came back.
See, you realized
Yeah.
it, and here's the thing: because you realized it, you understood from that moment. Some people do wrong and don't even think it's wrong,
Right,
and will
right.
stand on it,
Stand
like,
on it.
like, how was I wrong? And you're like, yo, how do you not know you were wrong?
Right.
And then that's when a person like myself would be like, okay, well, I see that being with this person, they're never gonna hold accountability for anything that they're gonna do, so I can't work with them. And I found myself dealing with that a lot in the industry because
Right.
it could be just something as small as not holding the door for your elders or not doing certain things, and then I'll take that and be like, yeah, I can't with them here. This is not gonna work for me. I'll bow out, and they'll be like, no, but you don't understand. This is gonna be really big for you. And I'd say, yeah, but then I'm gonna feel really small on the inside. So I don't. It doesn't matter what makes me feel big on the outside. If it makes me feel small on the inside, then no, I'm not gonna. I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? Leave me where I'm at, and what's meant to be will be. And I'm living the meant to be.
You sound so mature. You are mature.
I'm old.
You're mature. Don't say that.
say that.
See, I won't say that.
That's
You're
subjective.
not old.
That's subjective.
No,
Okay,
you're not.
so let me just.
Don't do it.
I'm
Your experience.
I'm classically classic.
Seasoned.
Okay,
Classically classic.
Seasoned.
I'm
That's
classically
fine.
classic.
But I don't speak
like
the
that
old word because then I feel like I'm going to shrivel up and turn to dust.
That's not true. See, that's the thing. People put old and make it like such a bad term, and it's not.
Right. But
Honestly,
that word is subjective.
which type of fortune would you rather have? Old money or new money?
Oh.
I mean, if it's Elon's money, that's kind of new.
Elon's money ain't no.
It's not. No, it's not. That's old
all
money.
old
Okay, well, Mark Zuckerberg, that's new money.
Newer.
Newer.
But that's still privilege money.
Yeah, because
It's
that's where it
privilege
comes
money.
from.
Yeah.
That's still old money.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be difficult here.
Yeah. See, but you can't
Black
be
folks
difficult.
are the only
See-
people that. I mean, you know.
So like,
obviously-
and if you
I-
think about
you're right, though.
what would you rather have?
Old
A
money.
new painting or an old painting?
Old painting.
You see what I mean?
Right.
What would you rather
Well,
go?
see, I don't like
so if you
classic,
pull up to a car show,
Oh, see, now
would
you're
you
talking
rather
about
have the
language.
new car or would you rather have the older?
See
car?
the shirt?
There you go.
Oh, he-
VBS.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my company. Yeah.
There you go. See what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
We did the movie with you and
Yes,
Cool
you
V.
did. Yes,
Yeah,
you did.
yeah.
Thank you so much
Yep.
for those.
Mhm.
So again, we weren't looking for new cars. We were looking for old
Old
cars.
cars.
So that's what it is. So people have to take it and put a certain twist on it. Like I love it.
Yeah.
I love being the oldest person in the room.
Really?
It does not bother me. When we sit down and we do this thing, like me, my family, some people that we go out, they'll say, okay, everybody put up your credit cards, to see who's going to cover dinner. And they'll say, everybody put up your American Express. And whoever has the oldest American Express does not have to pay for dinner. And I
Okay.
say, okay. So I know I never have to pay for dinner when I'm around them.
Right.
Why?
That works for you, right?
Yeah, because I've had a American Express, platinum American Express since 1988.
Ooh, you
Yo,
still
some of
spending
y'all,
money from
some
88.
of y'all weren't even born.
Is that where JC
Right.
got the line from you?
You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all weren't even born in 88. So when I put mine up there, they're looking at it like, is that 88?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, but this dinner was expensive. So yeah, y'all got to catch
Go
this dinner. I'm
ahead.
going to go get in my car. So that's what it is. And I think once people start to acknowledge that or they start to feel that, then, you look it. I can be in a room and, I wear no makeup. No
Skin
nothing.
glowing. now.
Gorgeous, by the way.
Skin-
Thank you,
skin
thank you.
glowing, yeah.
But this is old skin.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Now you go get somebody new, they got to wash all that off.
Yeah.
You look at that, you know what I'm saying? That's new skin.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So
that's
which would you rather have? You'd rather have an old strong skin? See, this skin here, this can be slapped and I don't get bruised like
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like my got like a little covering to it.
Right. No, I feel you.
You
I
know,
feel
so anyway, I say that to say that I love aging the way I've aged. And,
Right.
and I just love being who I am. But I would never change anything about me. Meaning, if I was someone that, if we fought when we was younger, then we fought when we was younger.
Yeah.
I was very quick to be physical because, I came from the group home and I had went through foster care and everything else. So
Right.
unlike a lot of other female MCs who would grab the mic and then let the fellas go first, I always felt like I had to fight for everything.
Right.
And I didn't care if it physically turned into a fight. I still would do that also. And then now I sit back and now that we're older, you see that people don't outgrow their bullies, and they might have felt like I was a bully. But in all reality, I was just a young girl surviving, and I was not going to do certain things that I seen other girls doing. Because you can do that, but you still had a home to go to and go to sleep.
Right.
I do that, they're gonna fuck around with me to do that all night.
Yeah.
Because where am I gonna go?
Right.
So I'm not gonna do that. You know, I'm going to walk in, and still today, you know, I walk in sometimes, you know, and I try to catch myself because I'll walk in with food in my bag. And they'll be like, why do you have food in your bag? Because I'm not going to be hungry, and I'm not going to wait for them to say, okay, we can eat.
Right.
Yeah.
Like this, I'll pull my shit out on the side, and, you know, and I could be at a table full of billionaires, and they will laugh, and they'll be like, well, what kind of sandwich is that? And I'll be like, hey, you ain't never tried this shit yet. Now, look, it's a little stuff on it, but go ahead and eat it. You know, and then they understand and respect my realness.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
and I can live with that.
Right.
When you look back on yourself, your younger self, what do you see?
I see a lot of strength, a lot of strength, a lot of struggle.
Yeah.
Recently, I had the honor of lighting the Empire State Building.
Okay.
And when I lit the Empire State Building, everybody had all these great speeches and everything about how, you know, they would go there with their family, how they would see it. And for me, I was in the streets, very young, by myself for a very long time. And at night, I used to wonder, like, who lights the Empire State Building?
Right.
You know, because for me, that was like a light, or almost like a sign, like, okay, listen, the night is getting ready to start. So you got to be able to survive this. And I'm talking like I'm on the side streets of between 39th Street and 43rd Street, between 7th Avenue and 10th Avenue. And these is the worst blocks to be in at that age, you know, on your own. But I'm looking at the Empire State Building like, okay, so I just got to get through this till that light goes out.
Right.
But once the light lights up, you know, that's when the streets is getting ready to be lit. You know, you're talking about the 80s.
Yeah.
And so when I went in there and I lit it, the lady said, well, why are you over here in the corner by yourself? And I told her, I was like, you know, because when I was little, I would look at the Empire State Building and I would say, who lit it tonight? And honestly, tonight I can say I lit the Empire State Building. You know what I mean? So it's just like one of those things for me. So I look at the city differently. I look at life differently.
Right.
You know, I've been a mom longer than I've been anything else.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Now, are you still, regardless if you're putting it out or not, are you still recording music? Are you still like, I call them a career artist, like, because some people, they just never stop recording. Whether they're going to put the music out, it's like therapeutic. Do you still record?
I rhyme every day.
You rhyme every day?
I rhyme every day.
Okay.
I'm on a radio station. I'm on Sirius XM every day from 4 to 7 p.m. LL Cool J's Rock
the Bells.
Exactly. And I get a chance to freestyle and rhyme every day. And that's the type of artist I've always been. I've never been a sit-down, write records type artist. I've always been someone who freestyles. So I get the chance to do that every day.
Every day.
So I think I'll do that until the day I die.
As you should. That's who you are. It's a party.
Yeah.
You
Let
know?
me tell you a story, yes. How I got to be so fresh.
I'm Shante's Bismarck.
Now, was that a freestyle?
All of it. That's why
Yeah.
I say my name so much.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There was another phrase you say a lot. I forget which one it was now, but it was not rocking the mic. I think that might have been mine. I'm rocking on the mic. I'm rocking on the mic. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, but freestyle's a lost art now. You know, I wish more people could get in a cipher and just off the top.
A lot of people are mentally lazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
It takes a different type of mental to think before you speak.
Yeah.
I think what it is they changed the definition of freestyle. And once they changed the definition of freestyle, then people no longer need to do it because they come in and they be like, oh, yeah, well, this is a freestyle. And then they take the paper out. Right. And then I'd be sitting there like, how is that a freestyle if he took the paper out? Like,
Right. Me and him were talking before you came in, and it just came to my attention. You know, we obviously, everybody here is hip-hop.
Yes.
And battling is a part of hip-hop.
Yes.
But we just discovered that, if I'm not mistaken, people, everyone, you were involved in the first hip-hop battle on record.
Yes.
Is that would be you and UTFO, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
somebody saying me Sparky D, but I would say you on record, you and the UTFO, like
Absolutely.
that,
I think
but that doesn't get celebrated or mentioned enough. Because I just actually realized that just now.
yeah, 40 years.
Right.
This is actually the 40th year.
Really? 40 years.
Wow.
Right. So
40 years.
That's crazy.
right. So basically, Drake and Kendrick owe you a check.
Please believe it.
Yep.
They better
Trying to
pay
get some
up.
money up here.
Please believe it.
Hey, send that check.
Okay.
Nah, that's
How does that make you feel?
Yeah.
What, to see the artist today?
The legacy
or
of battle.
the Drake
The legacy of
evolve.
battling to where it's at.
It's incredible.
Right.
It's incredible. I've always, sat back and admired and watched everybody go out and do the battles and everything else. I've also liked to watch some of the little battle competitions that they would do and things like that. But for me, when I watched the Super Bowl, which to me was the ultimate stage, it was just incredible.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I just felt a little, because, again, I see them all as my hip hop brothers.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just felt a little bad, only because I felt like there wasn't anyone on Drake's side to tell him how he should have responded.
Right.
What would you have told him?
He should have bought a commercial.
Commercial.
Right after Kendrick's performance.
See, this is why she started this.
What's
shit.
your sign? You diabolical.
She started it. That's
'Cause, right,
crazy.
listen, 'cause this is how he should have done it, because I like to see both sides win.
Right.
And right after Kendrick did this incredible performance, right, he should have been sitting at home. It should have been a commercial with him sitting at home, right? And next to him should have been some lawsuit papers on the table.
Mm-hmm.
With whatever type of endorsement, whether it was a Coke or Pepsi or whatever, sitting on top of but you can still see there's lawsuit papers. He should have had all of his diamond plaques, all of his stuff all behind him. He should have had a huge screen, and the screen should have showed him watching the performance, cheering it on. You know what I'm saying? Cheering it on like that. And then he should have said, and then he should have turned around and he should have looked in the camera and he should have said, "Yeah, you're right. They not like us." And then he should have turned around and showed all his accomplishment and said, "But you're not like me."
Wow. You put thought into that.
Yo,
Hey,
Drake,
that
you need to hire her.
that would have actually.
Drake, what are you doing, Drake?
Yo,
Come on, Drake.
come on,
And
Drake.
that would have, let me tell you
That would have
something.
been effective too.
That would have been effective.
What?
Nothing else. Yeah.
What?
That would
Yeah.
have been effective.
It would have got mixed reviews, but it would have been
effective, though.
Yeah.
You know what it would have done? It would have not, the conversation would not have just been lost.
Right.
The conversation now would have been balanced on, but the commercial, we know he spent $8 million on the
Right.
commercial.
Right.
Or the commercial. Did you see it now as they're breaking down the Kendrick's performance? They're breaking down all of the symbols
Right.
that you put inside of your commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the commercial, you put the lawsuit papers, but on the lawsuit papers, you put the Coca-Cola bottle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or you put the Coke and the Pepsi bottle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. So now
That's
people
crazy.
are trying to feed and read from it. There's always a way to win. You never got to lose.
It's always a way to
It's
win.
always a way to win.
You ever lost a battle?
Never. Not even with cancer. I'm a 2-time breast cancer.
Right. Ooh, I love it.
Praise the
Yeah,
Lord.
so not even with cancer. I remember when my oncologist told me, like, listen, you're getting ready to go into one of the greatest battles of your life. And I was like, all right. I haven't lost one yet.
My mom's a 2-time breast cancer survivor.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, nothing like ringing that bell, being
Right.
on the other side.
Man,
It's a
listen.
beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so to be able to do that, now, have I suffered some losses outside of that? Like my mom and,
Right.
a few best friends. And, like I had a dog for 20-something years and lost that. But they was getting kind of mad at me for holding on to him. They was like, 'cause
Oh,
he was
really?
like, he was literally like fur just moving slow
Wow.
through the house.
Yeah.
And they was like, you got to let this go. And I was like, you
Yeah.
want me to put you to sleep?
Right.
Right.
Do you want me
That
to put you to sleep when you old?
Right.
Leave him alone.
Yeah.
And he was bumping into things and stuff like that, but
Right.
I just turned him and he
Right, right.
Yeah.
just keep on going.
Keep going.
Yeah, until his day was done. But even when I took him to the vet was like, how old is this dog?
Right.
I was like, you the vet.
Right. You
Right.
tell me.
Now, if I gotta pay you and you don't know how old he is, give him back.
Give it
Right,
back,
right.
You know what I'm saying? And I took him to the vet, and this is the truth, and I'm telling everybody, be very careful with these vets. I took him to the vet, and he was dead the next day.
Wow.
All of them years, I was feeding him table food, hot sauce. He was drinking tea, eating
Yeah.
candy, all
Right.
that shit. Now y'all tell me, oh, you got to take him to a vet. It's just too bad. It's too. And I took him to a vet next day. He was
Next
gone.
day he died.
Next day he died.
Wow.
I was sad. I was mad. I was.
Mm.
Because I felt like I listened to y'all and I took him to the vet. I should have never. He was good. He was moving firm. We knew he was. This is how we did. Like people were saying, like, how old is he? They would see pictures of my children, and then see him with pictures of him with my children's children. So it was like, that's the same
a family
dog.
member. Yeah.
What type of dog was it?
Bichon.
Wow.
They last long.
I see. Obviously.
No, he had no teeth. I was giving him. He had baby food. I was feeding him baby food. Like, I put the baby food on the saucer. And
He had no teeth?
he had no teeth.
Oh, my
He was
goodness.
done, but he had baby food. Still feeding him tape. Still wouldn't give him dog food.
Right, right.
Still wouldn't give him dog food no matter what. Gave him baby food.
He ate good. He lived
He
a
ate
good life.
all the way out.
He lived a good life.
From steaks to baby food.
Hey.
Yeah.
What would you say is your best accomplishment, your greatest accomplishment?
My children. My children.
yeah.
Because I exposed my children to a lot growing up. I've never been the mom by the book. I've been the mom by the streets, the mom by survival, the mom by hip hop. My children never had bedtimes. I have pictures of me having my son in the club with me 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Even being in limos with everybody smoking weed and just crack the window a little bit, the baby's in here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that type of thing. And to see how they've turned out has been incredible for me. My son is responsible for even like I don't want to call it like a resurgence but just going to him and him saying like, listen, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, allowing him to be in management position, being able to take care of things for me, telling me what to post, what not to post. And then, my daughter being in law enforcement and doing the things that she's doing, like, it's incredible for me to just sit back and say, wow, like you really are my kids.
Yeah.
And when something goes wrong with them, I remember when they were younger, they would be like, you don't really want me to call my mom? Because they were always very soft-spoken, very good students in school.
Right.
And then I show up and show the f*** out. And,
As you should.
Yeah, and was never afraid of a crowd. And they used to take teachers out the other exit knowing that I was waiting for in the yard. Yeah, I was just like, but because I grew up missing certain things in my childhood, I wanted my children to know that you can always count on me. Like when they tell you, do you want to call a lawyer? You tell them, I need to call my mother first. Let me call my mother, and then she'll take care of everything from that point on.
Right.
Because I didn't have that. I didn't have that stability, or I didn't have that person that I could call on and say, okay, this is who is going to take care of Shante. Shante had to take care of Shante since she was about 10.
Right.
So, for me, I wanted to make sure that my children had the opposite.
Right. I wanted to ask you too.
Sure.
Your life story on Netflix, your biopic.
Yes.
How much of that was accurate, and how much input did you have in that movie?
I was there every day to make sure that everything was absolutely accurate. What we did was we actually toned my life down because we weren't sure if the world was really ready to hear the stories that really take place. So what we did was we gave them bits and pieces of it. We did not embellish on anything. If anything, we toned some of it down because I wanted it to be that daddy-daughter movie. Growing up without a father, I needed fathers to be able to sit down with their daughters, watch this movie, and then start to question certain things that they see. I needed moms to sit down with this movie and say, damn, am I really putting that much pressure on my oldest child? Like, does she get a chance to be a child? Am I asking too much of them? And I also, the young lady who played me, her name is Shante, Shante Adams. And the reason why she had just graduated from school, June 20-something. I want to say like June 25th. So she graduated school June 25th. July 5th, I had her filming. And it was very important to me that there were no nude scenes, that there were no scenes that were going to make her feel that in order for her to get into this industry, she was going to have to sacrifice. And I didn't want people who picked her for other projects to feel that they needed to subject her to that. And, she told me, her and her parents both thanked me for that, because after that, she was able to get roles with Denzel. She was able to get roles with this because automatically people didn't see it as, you knew what I went through. But there was no need for us to take that and put visuals attached to it. So that this way, they should, because you know what, at the end of the day, I'm still a black woman, and I know what it was like to be a young black woman, and I know what it was like to be a young black girl, and to not have people think that way for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, Come on, I was 16 years old. I did a song called Lucy with Rick James and lived with him for 6 months. Who sends somebody 16 to go live with Rick James?
Lucy's Rap. I remember that.
Lucy's Rap.
Yeah.
So you lived with Rick James for 6 months.
6 months. 6 months. And it only took us 2 days to do the record.
Right.
Wow.
So the other 6 months was just living with Rick James.
What was that like?
Yeah.
It
Just fly by that one.
it was incredible. It was incredible. I learned a lot. It was incredible.
Is there any other release Rick James songs you have that never came out?
No, we only did one song.
And that was good?
6 months I was there, and we only recorded 2 days.
Right. That's.
The rest of the time I was just there.
I used to have that I think I used to have a 45 of that record.
Yeah, and then I remember when we went to go do it on Soul Train, and Don Cornelius said, "How old are you?" And I said at the time I was like, I think I had turned like 17.
Yeah.
I was like, 17. He said, "Wrap this up. We can't do
Right.
wrap this up." He was like, "No." He was
Yeah.
like, "No." Like he was like, "No." He was like, "She's 17 and listen to the song." No.
Yeah.
He was like, "No."
And Don didn't like hip hop.
Don didn't like
And he
hip-hop.
did like, and he
did,
and I
yeah.
don't think he liked Rick.
He didn't.
Rick's a wild guy.
Yeah, they were.
So he was like,
yeah.
"She underage. Wrap this up." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so for me, you know, I always wanted to be that person,
Right.
So that when people come to me, they'll be like, "You know, he told me that he's a producer." I said, "Well, write his name down. Who he say he worked with?" "Oh, okay." And then I'll make a phone call. "You ever work with this such and such?" And they'd be like, "No." Then I'll call the girl back and be like, "Yo, listen, get out of there. He can't do none of that stuff he's saying."
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and then people would get a little angry with me because they'd be like, "Listen, you don't understand what the industry's about." And I said, "Honestly, you're right."
Right. Is there anything?
Oh, real quick. Fun fact. I was the last person to interview Rick James.
Oh yeah.
you?
Yeah. I was the last person. Google it. It's out there.
Wow.
Village Voice did a whole story on me. Hey, Howard.
Sure.
There you go. That's what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to throw that out.
No, hey, that's.
I don't get a lot of
that's
praise.
incredible.
I gotta praise myself.
You gotta promote that. You gotta
Yeah.
put that out there.
I tried. They wouldn't pay me for my interview though.
Who?
They did a documentary on Rick James and wanted my interview. I was like, okay, what we talking about? They were like, here's a release to give it to us. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I can't, you can't have this.
Welcome to the world of the give it to me.
Right.
They wanted you to give it to me, baby.
Right. Get
Oh, she's sharp with it.
Right. You quick. You ever done stand up comedy?
No. Well, let me know. Wait. I'm lying.
Cause you.
I did it twice.
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
And both times was a dare.
Okay.
One of my sisters, we was on a cruise ship. She was like, they doing comedy downstairs. If you do the comedy, then you get to use the bathroom first. Because I was tired of her shitting first. Like, if you on a cruise with somebody and they shit first, it just mess your whole outfit up. You just like, man.
Okay.
So I could go first.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So I went down there. So I did it then. And they thought that I was part of the show.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and then the second time I did it at a club.
Did you freestyle your jokes?
Yeah, just
Oh,
got
yeah?
up there and just
Tell us a joke.
It just got up there. It
She just did.
just did it.
Right.
Dum, dum.
You're right. But you are so good on stage.
Thank you.
Yo, she's like the main event. Kind of almost like Dougie. You like Dougie without the beatbox. You
Yeah.
just captivate the crowd.
She had a
Thank you.
song called Live on Stage.
I know.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You just trying to show how.
Yeah.
But nah, sometimes it's
You know
I
what it
stand
is?
in awe of you. So.
You know what it is? It's
Yeah.
because I get up there and I do it because I want to do it. And I get a chance to do it for who I want to do it for. So I'm literally having a great time. I am a wear all day type person, meaning I get on stage with whatever I wore all day, you know. And so a lot of people feel like you're not, you know, showman enough for us. You don't dress up enough for us. And I say, but it's not for you. It's for them.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I get out here and I'm in my regular clothes and I'm telling them, like, listen, I ain't changed my motherfucking clothes. Let's
Yeah.
do this like this. This is what I'm
Yeah.
going to wear, you know, because I need to be comfortable.
Right.
And that's what I do.
Now,
And
speaking of clothes,
yes.
this is a hip hop question, fashion
me,
question.
hit
Do
me
you have any of your old Dapper Dan
Yes,
leather
I do.
Gucci
I have-
suits?
and I
You
also-
still
I have-
that stuff.
And I also have all of my suits that I had made for my son. My daughter came later on in life.
Man.
But I still have all of the Dapper Dan leather suits that my son wore when he was little.
Wow.
Yeah, and every now and then we got to take them out. We got to air them out because, you know, the leathers will stick together.
Right.
And then some of the detailing will come off.
Come off,
So
right.
like some of the Gucci print might come off if you keep them too close together. So we've been trying to like take care of them a little more as far as like putting tissue paper or something in between them.
Right.
But other than that, yeah, I kept them because I don't have any childhood pictures of me. Like I have no baby. I have one baby picture, real tiny, and it looks like it's been through a war, so it's not like a really clear photo. And I didn't want that for my kids, so I kept everything. I got like the first braid. I got like like when you cut their hair, you cut the first braid. I got the first braid. I got the baby book. I have garbage bags full of photos.
Wow.
You know, so yeah. So, and every now and then I'll go inside of the bag and I'll take out a handful of photos and I'll go up online and I'll post some. And you know, but I never ever just go through them because I live life in the now. So I don't really go through the then. But if my children have questions about certain things, you know, then I'll say like, they'll be like, yeah, who's this? And I'll be like, oh yeah, he was a hustler from such and such time. He did this, da 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 da, this and that, and then I'll just leave it alone.
Would you be open to put some of that gear into the hip hop museum, hip hop in the Bronx, like your outfit?
I said, you know what? I said that once they decide exactly how they're going to do it, then I'm definitely going to present them with a gift, something that I haven't given to anyone else. You know, where they can say, okay, this is really 50 years old, or this is really 40 years old. This is really from that time. And then with everything, I also have like photos that match it. Like he wore this on this day, so this shows him playing with this outfit on, and you know, like that type of thing. So yeah, no, I would definitely do that. I always support. Like I remember when they were doing the hip hop museum, and we were just showing up in regular little meeting spaces. You know, I was there from day one with the architects and all of that. I'm always there, always supportive. You know, making it do what it do.
I wanted to ask you a hip hop question.
Hit me with it.
I texted you this like a couple years ago.
Okay.
The word "John."
Yes.
I would like you to talk to me about your relationship to the word and when you first said it.
Okay. A lot of people think that Roxanne Shante's career started in New York, but it didn't. It started in Philadelphia. My first record label was Pop Art. And it was the Goodman Brothers. And the Goodman Brothers was the brothers. Like, they was them type of brothers, you know. And when I would stay in Philly all the time, you pick up on their dialect. It's a whole different language. And one of the things is John. And like bull. You know what I'm saying? Or dude, you know, because they would use those different terms. And so I was describing a conversation that we were having in a storyline that we went through. And I remember Dana Goodman saying to me, yo, baby, that John is fresh. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I used the word
And you used
John.
the voice. You was like, yo, baby, that John is fresh.
And that was the first time the word John had been placed on a record, ever. You know, because people didn't know, what is a John? You know what I'm saying? And a John is that's a thing. That's it's a noun. You can use it to describe anything. Like, your house could be your John. Like, yo, did you see that John? It was, you know, like that. So that's where John came from.
When I was randomly listening to that record and I heard it, and I was like, wait a minute. I had to text her. I think this is the first time it's ever been said.
Yep, John. Absolutely.
Part of our regular dialect now. And well, I'm not from Philly, but
Spent a lot
Delaware.
Of time. Oh, Delaware.
Delaware is the cousin.
Right there.
Yes.
The cousin.
Right there.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think about your legacy as it pertains to the ladies in hip hop? You mentioned your more kinship with the men? Is that accurate? Would you say?
Well, you know, Roxanne Shante was surrounded by an all-male crew, so there was never. I didn't really have any other women around me when coming up in hip hop.
Okay.
I just didn't, and then I never wanted to battle them.
Right.
Because I always felt like they wouldn't win. And I didn't want to do that to them.
You mean Cade and G Rap? And
like, I never, I'm talking like women.
Oh, you mean women?
Yeah, like I wouldn't
okay.
Like, why would I battle you when
right.
I'm in the car going with the greats all day long, and this is not going to be good for you.
Yeah.
And I remember them coming up with, every town that I went to, they used to have their own Roxanne. So like if I'm going to Baltimore, they'd be like, yeah, we got somebody to battle you as Baltimore's Roxanne. And I'd be like, man.
Yeah.
And then they used to have like everywhere I went, Connecticut's Roxanne, Baltimore's Roxanne, Chicago's Roxanne.
Battle her, right? That's
Isn't that something? Everywhere I went. And then, you know, I would go there and literally they just weren't ready for me because some of them were like, you know, good girls and I'm like,
right.
they don't even like you if they put you up here.
Right.
You know, and so automatically, that's the way it was for me with female rappers for a very long time. I always wanted to be sisters with them. I wanted them to understand that this is what we do for a living, because it was always a job for me.
Okay.
And I never got in the industry because I want to be a star. I came in here because I need money to take care of these kids.
Right.
I need money to be able to do these things. And this is easier money than doing other things, you know? And so that's how I looked at it. Even when it came to battles, it got to a point in New York City where they wouldn't let me enter any more battles. And this was before I made records. They wouldn't even let me enter anymore. They'd be like, no, listen, if it's the little girl with the braces, then no, she can't be in it no more. Because I would go with, like, my family would literally find battles and be like, now listen, they having a battle here for 500. So you gonna come over here and we're gonna go get this 500.
Right.
You know, and we go get that 500.
Right.
And then 1,500. And so that's what it was for me. So for me, it was always a job. So when I would get a chance to see other female rappers, I'm looking at them like, yay, and they looking at me like they ready.
Right.
You know, and now I'm just so happy that we have all grown up and everybody is in a great position. So now I love the relationship that I have with my hip hop sisters. Now, is it as often that we talk as I do my hip hop brothers? It's just not, because I was closer to them growing up. But, you know, my Yo-Yo, my Light, my Queen Latifah, like, you know, just being able to have those moments where it's like, hey, how's everything doing? How you going? How's everything? Everybody's good? Da, da, da. I love that, because at one time I never thought we would have that. And I'm so glad that we do. Call me up like, listen, do you want to do this show? Because I'm not going to do this show. You want to take this? Yeah, you want to do that? Congratulations. Da, da, da. Like, it's just a beautiful thing now, you know, to be able to see that and to be able to feel that.
Yeah. I remember you were in a panel discussion or something, and you were on it, and so was the real Roxanne. It felt very frosty. Like, it felt,
But if it did, it wasn't for me.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't for me. You know, one thing that my mom did tell me, she said, you know, winners are never upset. If you're a winner, you just never gonna be upset. You know, and you got to look at life that way. So only losers are angry and mad and go through all this stuff. So, you know, even if you're going through something, like, but are you a winner?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, then all right then.
Yeah.
So for me, you know, I guess my reaction to people has always been like, well, she should be upset. She should be mad. And I'm like, I can't. Like, I'm a winner.
You are. That
you know what I'm saying? I'm a winner.
Grammy winner.
Grammy award.
Grammy award winner.
Yeah, absolutely. So
you inspired me. I was like, man, I gotta get me a Grammy now.
Grammy.
You see what I'm saying? There you go. Because, you know, I've always been that if she could do it, I can do it person.
Right.
So if you see me do it, then you could do it. You know, if I do it, this can be done.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you have any regrets?
One.
What would that be?
I do. It's I have one regret, one personal regret. I do. And I don't know, like, I've never told the story. I've never said why.
You can tell us.
I look at you like you can tell us.
We won't tell nobody.
Well, I can just tell y'all a part of it.
Okay.
You know, like, I grew up in the streets and there was a lot going on and everything else. And there used to be these pimps. They used to come around and try to get young girls and stuff like that. And I remember being in the back of a van. This is with a friend. So I wasn't one of those. I used to sell clothes. Let me clear that up. I sold clothes.
Okay.
Because I was a booster.
Right.
So I dressed everybody that used to be out in the streets. So that's why they really catered to me. Because that's what I did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I was on that side of the track.
Okay.
Not that side of the track.
Got it.
But this day, everybody piled up in the van. And everybody was trying to get away. Because, you know, back then it was like this thing called like gorilla pimping or whatever. And they were trying to get away.
Wait, gorilla pimping though? What's that?
Gorilla pimping was like hard pimping, I guess. Okay. That's for a whole nother show.
Okay.
So anyway, one thing I regret was pushing some girls out the van.
Well,
to save yourself?
Because I knew I was going to be somebody. Yeah.
So they
just imagine the rest.
Okay.
Just think of a good episode of Law and Order.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a foundation. Let's change. Let's shift the gears. Let's beeline over to
So you ain't touched
something
it,
positive. Right. Yeah. So how was church Sunday?
Bible studies.
Listen,
Right.
listen. One day, I'm gonna have to tell the whole story.
Okay.
One day, I'm gonna have to tell the whole story.
That was good, Chuck.
But here's the thing. You see, you asked me.
Right.
I love it.
You asked me, listen, is there anything that you regret?
Right.
Yeah.
And I had to tell you.
Right.
Because most people say this, I don't regret anything.
Right.
I don't regret any of those things. You know, like all the things that I did but one personal moment I do remember that,
right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, but when you feel in your heart, like, you know, listen, you know what I'm saying? I was young. I was like, look, I'm going to be somebody.
Right.
I know about them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, there's a different type of sheep. Different type of wolf.
Yeah.
I'm just a little wolf, but I'm never a sheep. Never. You know what I mean? So I may not be as big as a wolf as them. They wolves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm howling too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I got caught up in a little sheep herd,
Right.
and so I started doing little wolf bites.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To make the sheep move.
Right.
Okay. So now we can
Now-
we can get to my organization.
Get to her Bible study, you know.
Listen, it's all good.
Yeah, Chuck crazy.
I've done things too.
Hey,
See,
we all have.
listen, that's right.
have.
Open up, and tell us what you did without telling us what you did.
I ain't gonna say.
You know what I'm saying?
This day he was mentally challenged, and I did not do right.
Oh,
He's alive and everything, but
oh.
anyway, we'll leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it open ended like you.
Yeah, there we go. That's right. One day, one
One
day,
day.
one day we will
One
both.
day.
One day we will both go there. We will.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's looking at me like, you next.
Yeah, like, look, you think you're just gonna leave us there?
I was in the 11th grade, and I was very dumb. I didn't study, and the guy that was sitting next to me was very smart, and he turned his head, and I switched our papers.
What?
And I passed, and he failed.
What?
I felt bad about that.
Oh my.
You changed his life.
That's nasty work.
Changed his life.
He just failed that class.
That class.
But you don't know what that did to him when he got
Yeah, I
home.
don't know what happened, but yeah, I did that.
His mama whooped him so bad.
What? Tore him up.
Oh, that's mad.
He'll never be the
All
same.
right, I
Right.
got it.
You got
He
somebody
was
out
on
there.
his way to Harvard.
Yeah, you got somebody out there hating their mama now.
Right. Thanks to you.
Hey, you said you wanted the truth, right? There it is.
There we go.
I regret it. It's a regret.
Absolutely. Well, as you know, I went through the foster care system. So what I did was I became a CASA, both in New York. I was a registered CASA in New York and also in Essex County in Newark, New Jersey. And a CASA is a court-appointed special advocate for children who are in foster care, somebody to be that voice for them.
Okay.
You know, and I always wanted to be that voice for them. And so my husband and I started an organization called Mind Over Matter. And literally, it was just a fact of being able to put your mind on and know that that's what matters. So putting your mind over your matters, knowing that this is where I may live, this is what the circumstances are, but my mind can take me out of this. Also encouraging them to read books and make sure that they graduate high school. But what we do is we start off with them in the 9th grade, which is that age. The 9th grade is really that point in life where a lot of young women tend to shift. They decide if it's going to be this way, if it's going to be that way. Some become mothers, some become, just a lot of things take place in the 9th grade,
Right.
From what I've known and from what I've experienced. And what we do is follow them through all the way to they graduate into high school with whatever it is that they may need, and now being so busy and being able to now monetarily having more to be able to assist is a beautiful thing. But not having the time that I still want to have has been difficult for me. So now it's like I want to take some time off and I want to go back and I want to be able to start another group of girls and follow them all the way through, because it's a 3-year process. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's 4, depending on what they go through academically. But it really makes me feel good to know that when I see these young ladies as they're growing up, now seeing some of them as adults and, seeing them say like, listen, I don't have no babies. I'm working. I'm doing this. I'm working at the airport. I do this. I do that. It puts a smile on my face because I think everybody needed a Miss Shante in their life. And so I like to be that Miss Shante. So when they see me, they're like, Miss Shante, I saw your movie, Miss Shante, congratulations. You know, so I enjoy being Miss Shante.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Giving back.
Yes,
back. Yeah,
yes.
You gotta give back. I want to ask you just a basic question, but I do want to get your thoughts on the state of hip hop right now. How do you feel? Like, well, yeah. Let me ask you how you feel, and I'll leave it there.
Okay, so how do I feel about hip hop today? I'm truly proud. I know that it has been through a lot. There's been, and life has been through a lot for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, we as black people, we as the culture have been through a lot. And to see hip hop still be able to survive and come out on top, not being the most supported genre of music, not being the most respected genre of music, not being the oldest genre of music. You know, one of those things is it's really good to see where we have come and also understanding now. I think technology has done wonderful things for hip hop because it allows people, there's no excuse for not knowing. See, we didn't know lawyers and publishing and writers and everything else, but now all of those things are at your fingertips. So to see an artist say, I'm going to stay independent because I want to own my own publishing, is just incredible for me. Where I remember artists only wanting to get on big record labels only so that these big record labels could just steal more because they gave you one big check, you know, and being an artist who's never received royalties. You know what I'm saying? I understand what that can do for your life, how that can change everything, where something as simple as your publishing and your writers and how important that is to have. So when I sit back, I am not disappointed in hip hop at all. When I look at female rappers like Doshi and and all, you know, like I love it. I love the ability to be able to create just what they want to create, how they want to create it. I love to see the women have the strength that they have now, having lawyers, having attorneys, being able to go through their contracts, making their own decisions. You know, these things are wonderful for me because I remember when it was always a sit down and shut up type circumstance. You know what I'm saying? Or just get the money from the show. You know, just be happy that you're getting the money from the shows. You know, I think it's wonderful now to see them be promoters and everything else. So when it comes to Roxanne Shante and what I feel like I've sacrificed and contributed to this great thing called hip hop, I sit back and say, you know what? I'm honored to see where it has went and where it's going to keep going, you know, and I love it.
Yeah, you've done
and I'm not angry.
Yeah, you've done an amazing job. She's a
I'm a
winner.
winner.
She's a winner. Thank you
so
for
much.
having us.
Absolutely no.
For coming here.
Yeah, look, you said thank you for having us.
I feel like you're having us. You know what I'm saying?
She blessed
No,
us with
for
her
real,
presence,
blessing
man.
us with your presence, man. And I'm like proud to see you. You know, so many people get grumpy and angry and this sucks, that sucks.
What are you mad about?
Yeah.
She just won a Grammy.
Yeah, man. It's dope.
Absolutely. No, you can't be. You know what? Because being that way only chases the good people away.
Ooh,
It does.
that's a bar.
You know what I'm saying? And I done been around the bad people long enough.
Right.
So just open up for the good people.
Yeah, open up for the
All
good
right,
people.
there it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.